Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Paul, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to install some cigarette sockets and USB sockets into your car so that you can run your fridge or you charge your phone, anything you want, anytime. And stay tuned to the end, I've got a little bonus tip for you. You ever had hassles with your fridge plug coming undone? I'll show you how to cut that off and install an Anderson plug so you never have any hassles again. Alright, let's get to it. Now, starting off, when it comes to your wiring, if you're running an Anderson plug, you would run 6mm twin core. But for an accessory socket, the socket's only rated for 20 amps. So no matter where you put it, you only really need 5mm twin core. Now, twin core means you've got a positive and a negative, both running through the same wire with an insulated coating around it. Now, if you're mounting your accessory sockets inside your car, you'll need to get through your firewall. So find the grommets on your firewall, and on the grommets there should be a little nipple. You should be able to cut off one of those nipples. Get an old coat hanger or something and some electrical tape. Tape the coat hanger to the wire and feed it through that nipple and grab it from the other side and pull that through. But if you're mounting, say, in your canopy or something behind the vehicle, you're going to have to go down the side of the motor here, cable tie to be 30 centimeters, follow along your chassis or along an existing wiring loom, and like I said, cable tie to be 30 centimeters. But make sure you're staying away from the exhaust or any moving parts. You don't want to get it caught up in anything or overheating. You will have to decide what your plans are for the sockets. If you plan on just using it while you're driving along, just run your fridge while you're driving, and then you've got a caravan or something, or you're just going to a hotel and you're not going to need your fridge, then you find to just connect it straight to your main battery. But if you intend on using it for camping for the night, you might want to look at putting a second battery in your car. I have got another video up there showing you how to install a second battery. That way you're never going to have a main flat battery in the morning when you go start your car. Now, it can be quite tight trying to get through your firewall with that little nipple. So get a little bit of silicone spray or something like that and just spray it and it will fit straight through. The owner of the vehicle had planned to put 2 accessory sockets on the back of your center console. As soon as I got to work, I pulled it apart though. Those plans changed, found out the vents run the whole way down here and come out the bottom. So there's no way I could put sockets anywhere here. So I've had to go to plan B. Now, because I can't put the sockets here, what the owner's agreed on, he doesn't run a seat here anyway. This is where his fridge is going to be. So he's agreed to have 2 plugs coming out of here on about a 30 centimeter lead to come out. That way he can plug anything straight in here when he's not using them. He can just tuck them away under the seat and they're out of sight, out of mind. Now, a good way to hide your wiring when you run it to the back is to lift up your scuff plates. And then there'll be one screw, little plastic screw here on your kick panel. Just undo that screw. And then simply remove your kick panel. And then you can run your wire. There's already a wiring loom along here. You can cable tie it to that wiring loom all the way to the back. Because I'm not mounted to a hard surface now, I still want to show you how to mount the socket. So I've kind of got just a scrap piece of plastic. What you will need is a 29mm hole saw. Put on your drill. Find your location where you want to mount it. Drill your hole. Just punch straight through. There it goes. Now you want to clean it up a bit. Get your knife out, just tidy up the edges. Get your cigarette socket, USB socket. Here's your cap. You want to feed the cap through. That's if you're not using your little surrounding that comes with it. If it's using the surrounding, then you put the cap behind the surrounding, but we're not for this instance. So feed that straight through there. Then they give you a little nut with it. Just feed that nut straight on. Lock it in tight, and there it goes. I want to show you how to do this bit out here because it's going to be a lot easier. End of your wires, you want to strip it back until you can see the positive and negative. Then just strip back the end of your wires. twist it, get one of these little yellow crimp terminals, feed it in the end, get your crimpers, crimp it at least twice, and then at the end of your cigarette plug you either have a positive and a negative. The negative is usually always to the outer, so if you've got it behind you can't see it, fill with the outer one, that'll always be a negative. Then simply feed it straight on. You can see now it's got a USB socket and an accessory socket ready to go, all heat shrink with a bit of convoluted tubing around here just to protect it. And when he's not using it, you can just tuck it in here, fold it away, and you wouldn't even know they were there. Now that everything's finished off in the car, the last thing we want to do is fuse it. So work out how much lead you need to be able to reach the negative terminal and also a fuse and then to the positive terminal. So cut off where you think you need, and then we'll splice it open and get ready. You don't want to use the MIDI style fuse holder. The minimum fuse you can get for these is 30 amps. That's too much for the accessory socket. The accessory socket's only rated for 20 amps. You'll blow the accessory socket and cause a fire before the fuse even blows. So what we need to use is a blade style fuse holder. Now, a reason these fuse holders are so good is they make the wires so short. You don't want to extend this wire that leads to the battery any longer than that. That's as long as you'd want it to go to the positive terminal. The shorter you can have it, the less chances of it arcing out and causing a fire. So you want this fuse holder as close to the positive terminal as you can. Now, you want to get little crimp terminals like this. Pull off the plastic casing on it. I've already stripped back the negative wire. Feed that onto the negative. Get the remainder of it. Put it over the wire. Crimp it twice. I'll do each side twice. And then feed that yellow piece straight back over. Looks a lot more professional. Now put convoluted tubing over it, then a bit of heat shrink at the end, tidy it up. Simply finish that off and shrink it. Then you get a nice professional finish that's going to keep it weatherproof and track proof. Now you want to finish off by connecting your fuse holder to the positive wire and soldering it. Make sure you use plenty of solder. There's nothing worse than a dry solder. You have nothing but an unreliable connection. Don't be shy to use a heap of solder. Make sure you check the size of your battery terminals. With this one, the negative is an 8mm and the positive is a 10mm. So you need a bigger lug to go on, otherwise it won't fit. Now I've connected the positive to the terminal. Last thing to do, install your 20 amp fuse. And then you're ready to go. Now I promised you a bonus tip, how to disconnect your fridge plug and connect the Anderson plug. You may think it's pretty simple, just cut the wires and crimp your new terminals on, but it's not that simple. Most fridge plug wires are both black, so it's very hard to tell which is positive and which one's negative. One of them has usually got a little bit of writing on it, you can just read, but still doesn't tell you what's negative or positive. I got caught with this the first time I tried to do it myself. So what you have to do, get a screwdriver, undo the little screw on the plug. And then unscrew the end cap, which has got your inbuilt fuse in it. You always got your little fuse here. Try not to lose it. And then if you separate this, you can easily see the wire with the writing on it goes to this metal piece here. The piece on the spring here, that springs in and out, that's always your negative because that touches the sides of your cigarette plug. And the piece in the middle, the wire that runs up there, that leads straight to your fuse, and that's always your positive. So that's an easy way to convert them over. Just don't confuse the wires when you cut your fridge plug. Make sure you keep track of which wire was positive and negative on your fridge plug. Well, that's it guys. It couldn't be any simpler. If I have missed anything or you didn't quite get it all, leave a comment. I'm always happy to answer any questions at all. If you've enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. I've got plenty more of these videos out there. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.